Alright, here's the unboxing segment of this. Just gonna get everything open. Hopefully the camera isn't too shaky. When I'm doing this, I'll just kind of explain my thoughts as I see them. It's a pretty light case for the size, but that goes for most cases nowadays. What we got here? It's on its side. All right. A little bit of scratches. I think that's just going to be on the film though, so that should be fine. Ooh, yeah, that case is nice and light. Cool. Okay, so let's see here. What are we looking at here? Everything seems to be in order. A little. Hopefully that's good right there. But anyway, let's take it apart. Looks like it has a couple screws here. Take off the top. Slides backwards. Similar. This case is really similar to the O11, the Lian Li O11 Vision Compact. It's just a little bit less high. So this just comes out just like that. It's actually very similar to that case. So, got your power supply, goes back in there. Looks like the front panel doesn't come off without unscrewing a screw here. And all the fans are already seated. So, yeah, it's a little different here. This is at an angle. I'm going to take those off. I'm going to replace all these fans and we'll have performance test after that. It says you can mount two 140 mil fans. These are 120s, of course. Looks like you can only do 120 here, 240s here, or 140s here, and you can do 140s or 360s here. So, I'm going to start building my computer, put my stuff in it, and as I basically whatever I am doing, basically whatever thoughts come to mind, I'll just kind of speak out loud as I'm saying them. So I started taking off these fans and realized something interesting. Because this isn't at an angle, it's hard to get the screwdriver into these. Yeah, we could probably do it, but I just want to say that's a little difficult to do that. Very odd angle there to have to maneuver. There's also this little bit here. This is a hub for each one of these is an output of the LED, and they all go into, I guess there's one, they hook up to the fans on both sides. And I believe one goes to the not the motherboard, but there's a LED strip right here, which we'll see what that looks like at the final build. I'll let you know how difficult these screws were to get off. And really your best bet is just to get a firm grip and get it in the tightest spot. I can't do this with one hand. I have to hold the case with one hand and then unscrew with the other. This is not easy. Very odd design flaw that you don't think about until you start taking it apart, putting it together. I was able to get them off without too much trouble, but it is, you kind of got to work with it. Something I do want to reiterate for people who may not be aware, if you have a case that comes with one of these hubs, they're great for people who who don't have a whole lot of LED ports on their motherboard. If you just have one port, this is a great little, it saves you 15 bucks from having to get this at Micro Center or Amazon. So the fact they put this in here is really good, even though I probably won't be using it too much. Here's what it looks like without all the stuff in it, and I'll put the fans in now. All right, so I managed to get my 2 fans in here, but some of these, this screw is not easy to, they're not easy to get in. In fact, I just kind of got them started and couldn't finish them. This one's going in at an angle, so again, not optimal. At the end of the day, it's not really going to matter. Should probably tighten this bottom screw, but you know, they're so light, it's not going to really matter as long as they're just secure. So yeah, that's so far the only flaw I've found. All right, so here's the finished product. It looks super amazing. Very happy with it. I did some gaming benchmarks on temperatures with different fan curves, so that'll be coming up. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of uniqueness about this case, and well, I mean, it is unique in the look, but in terms of how it operates or how you put it together, it was actually really easy. The only hard part was getting those 2 side fans on, but really it wasn't really hard. It was just kind of annoying. So overall, love it. Highly recommend it. Temperatures were great. I'll show you the back end of it. Oh, also the front end. So have your LED strip there on the front, and let's just, with the light off, you can, you know, sync it up to your RGB software. There's a couple things here. There's power, there's a reset, and I'm pretty sure that's the LED switch. There weren't any instructions, so I'm kind of just had to press the buttons and figure out what it does. And then here is the back. As you can tell, I don't really care about cable management because it's all never going to be seen anyway, but there's plenty of room there, and I didn't have any issues at all. Interesting thing about the hub there, I plugged all the LEDs into the hub that I wanted to be on the same block, and when I plugged the hub into, what is my cat doing here? When I plugged when I plugged the hub output into the motherboard, it didn't respond to the software, which is kind of interesting. So I ended up just not using the LED hub part of that. So, but no big deal. But yeah, great case. Like I said, highly recommend it. And yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park. Okay, so on to the fan testing and air circulation test. So my PC is a 5080 and a Ryzen 9900X 12-core 24-thread processor. For the game I use is called Satisfactory, which at 4K uses 99-100% of the GPU and about 50% of the CPU. It's a very CPU-intensive game, so these it was pulling a max of 120 watts with an average of 113, which is pretty typical. That's about as much as I've ever seen a game pull for the CPU. And this is pretty standard as well for power usage of a 5080, or at least the Founders Edition card I have. Yeah, so anyway, I just basically did 3 different sound profiles. For the first one, this is completely silent. I could not hear the fans at all of either one of these while I was gaming. So there's that, which is great because your temperatures are way below thermal limits, thermal throttling. The GPU doesn't start the thermal throttle until after 80 or 85 C, something like that. So to have it cruising around at 69 degrees, that's great. CPU doesn't start thermal throttling till around 100, I believe, which this is still pretty toasty. I'm probably going to change my setup to be a little bit more than silent, because cruising around at 84, that's fine, not a big deal, but it's not ideal, I guess, if you're a nerd like me. Light noise, so this one I kicked them up to 60% and 70% fan speeds. Oh, by the way, this was 5 intake fans. So basically the bottom fans and the side fans are all air intake, and then there's 1 exhaust on the rear. So yeah, that's how I set those fans up. So again, 60% and 70% for each of these items here significantly reduce the temperatures to I mean, this was already great, but this is even better. This is amazing for 4K 100% gaming on a 5080. This is, again, perfectly acceptable. I'll probably end up going with a fan curve that's right in the middle of this, but we'll see. And then just for fun, I did a max test where I just floored everything, floored the fans, and brought it down to a max of 58 degrees on the 5080 and a max of 78 on the CPU. So, and again, these are the max of the CPU, by the way, that only happened when I was, the game was saving. So it would like jump up the temperatures real quick and then drop right back down after the game had saved. So it really was staying at 84, 76, and 68 for these. I would never do this. This is way too loud. I can hear it all the way in the other room. This can be covered up by some music or headphones. So again, right in the middle here would be great. The airflow was great for this.